And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. We got plenty to get to in this week's show as we look back on the last couple of weeks. We've got some Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball to bring you. The guys' season has continued. They were able to win against South Alabama in the opening round of the Sun Belt tournament. The women won the first game and lost the second. We're going to take you out for some highlights from the end of the regular season. As for the Georgia Southern baseball team, they lost 2 out of 3 this past weekend against number 21 ranked Campbell. We'll bring you some highlights from that series. As for our area high school basketball and baseball, we've got some postseason highlights to bring you from over at Statesboro High from the region and state. Portal in the state tournament as well. Portal makes it to the Sweet 16, or to the Elite 8 rather, Sweet 16 game at home, and then to the Elite 8 where they ended up losing a heartbreaker at the buzzer. Statesboro High falls in the Sweet 16. We'll show you some highlights from those games, as well as some high school baseball action from over at Bulloch Academy and from Mill Creek, as Statesboro High was in action against Benedictine. All that and more coming up on Upon Further Review. Reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. Cook's Pharmacy, located on Highway 80 East, is family owned and operated by Lynn and Janie McCook, as well as their son, Josh McCook. Serving the Bulloch County area since 2005, McCook's Pharmacy offers fast and friendly service where the customers come first. Vaccinations are available, including shingles, flu, pneumonia, and Tdap. Drive-through service is available with 2 drive-through windows for your convenience. McCook's Pharmacy offers free local deliveries, and new customers are always welcome. Continuing the tradition of our family caring for your family, McCook's Pharmacy, Highway 80 East. Well, the Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball teams participating in the Sun Belt tournament. The women won the first round and then lost in round 2. Their season has come to a close. The guys were able to knock off South Alabama. They're going to be taking on the number 1 seed in Appalachian State. We've got some highlights from the end of the regular season for you. Let's send you out back to Hanner Fieldhouse. Senior night for the Lady Eagles taking on Coastal Carolina, and Janiah Love Hill driving in for the layup. Coastal bombing away from outside. Deja Richardson for 3. The Eagles respond as Taryn Ward drives in for 2 of her 31 points. But it wouldn't be enough, though, as they fall 87-81. To the men's game we go. And it's Eugene Brown going strong to the basket. The Eagles taking on James Madison. Tyron Moore then with another big game here. The turnaround baseline jumper, and then check out Moore as he'll put on the brakes and then bury the 3. He'd have 27 points. A big game for freshman Avante Parker as well. Here he finishes with the lefty shot here, and then more from Parker. Off the Brown pass, he gets the hoop and the foul. Parker showing the full package as he steps back and cans the 3. He'd have 17 points. Next, Nate Bradford starts heating up, hitting the 3 from the corner. And then he comes back for another. The Eagles come close but end up falling 80-74. Eagles able to bounce back. Later facing Marshall. This one back and forth. Derek Harris the hoop and 1. Marshall answers on the other end. The 3 from Cameron Crawford. But the Eagles right back. Malik Tidwell. The step back 3. Tidwell then driving in for 2 more of his 18 points in the game. The Eagles up by 5. More from Tidwell. Another step back three. Next, off the rebound, Eugene Brown coming up with the putback. Jamar Franklin next, going strong to the basket. Gets this one to go. Then Tyron Moore getting tricky down low. He finds a way to get this one in. Eagles by one. Moore from Moore in the paint, finishing once again with the left hand this time, and the Eagles win 87-73. So we move to the regular season finale against Old Dominion. We start outside where Jamar Franklin hits the three. Next, it's Tyron Moore burying the triple. The three-point fest continues. Another for Moore. He'd finish with 32 points. Next, Eugene Brown inside off the glass for two. Aaron Banks getting in on the fun. The Eagles with 12 three-pointers in the game. Tidwell then showing the mid-range jumper. Tyron Moore from the far corner for three more. And then Moore spots Brown for the easy two. Franklin next, driving in for the layup. And then the nice look to Cam Bryant for the reverse. Moore finding some room for another three. And finally, it's one more for Moore as the Eagles win easily 92-75. Well, as for the Georgia Southern baseball team, they were in a three-game series this past weekend as they were hosting number 21 ranked Campbell. They were able to take one of three in that series. Let's send you out for the victory. Georgia Southern hosting 21st ranked Campbell at J.I. Clements in the first of a three-game series. The Eagles start the scoring. J.D. Kaiser hits the bases loaded grounder to second. They get one, but Kaiser safe at first. Jonathan Jamie scores to make it 1-0. Later in the fourth, two straight bases loaded walks would give the Eagles a 3-0 lead. A.J. Winrich will then send a fly ball deep enough to center to plate Jarrett Brown to make it 4-0. Sam Blancato adds the RBI single into right to make it 5-zip. And then Brown singles into right center, plating Blancato, and it's 6-0. The Camels eventually would come back, and they'd cut the lead to 6-4. But the Eagles add this deep fly ball to left from T.J. McKenzie, which will plate Jamie from third and make it 7-4. Josh Tate will then get this chopper past the shortstop into left for an 8-4 lead. Jacob Phillips does the rest, going 4 innings, allowing 1 hit and 5 strikeouts. The Eagles win 9-4. And earlier this week, up in Augusta, Georgia Southern lost to the University of Georgia. This weekend, they're back in action at home. 3-game series with Radford Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have highlights of that for you next week. Well, stay with us. High school baseball and basketball coming up next. Eagles' spirit and style are a priority around here, and that's why the University Store, the official outfitter of Georgia Southern, offers everything you need to be game day ready. The University Store carries the largest inventory of licensed Georgia Southern apparel, accessories, and spirited merchandise. Show your spirit with tents, flags, and chairs. Show your style with polos, hats, dresses, and jerseys. Visit us in-store at our stadium shops or online at gsustore.com. Show your spirit from tailgate to touchdown with the University Store today. Well, some pretty successful seasons for our area high school basketball teams. The Bulloch Academy girls advanced all the way to the semifinals before they lost. The Portal Panthers made it to the Final 8 before they got beat at the buzzer. The Statesboro boys got to the Sweet 16, and the Statesboro girls advanced to the state playoffs after winning the region championship. Let's send you out for some of these post-game highlights from our teams here in Bulloch County. The Portal Panthers opening up the state playoffs at home against Early County, and Portal off to an early lead on the break. Amir Jackson goes in for the layup. Next, Joseph Thomas with the long distance three. Elijah Coleman later fakes and then fires three more. And then Coleman, the long alley-oop to Thomas. Panthers up by 4. Coleman would lead the way offensively once again for Portal. He'd finish with 24 points. The Bobcats coming back behind the shooting of Jabril Lindsay, who hits a couple of three-pointers to get within 2, but Portal maintains their lead. Thomas, another 3. He'd finish with 17 points. Coleman then the steal, and he goes all the way. And then Coleman, another mid-range jumper. The Panthers up by 9. David Thomas adds the corner 3. And then Joe blowing by the defense for 2 more, as Portal takes a 32-24 lead at the half. Second half, more of the same. Coleman driving in for the tough layup. And then Coleman, the outlet to David Thomas for the flush. Lindsay helping Early County back to within 2. But Portal right back. Coleman once again driving in and past the defense. Joseph Thomas, another off-balance bucket here. And then Coleman up for the hoop and the foul. Portal takes a 42-40 lead into the fourth quarter, where it's Coleman once again. But Javarian Jones late in the fourth gives the Bobcats a short-lived 2-point lead. Less than 40 seconds in the game. Portal up by 2. Amir Jackson puts the game away. He'll get fouled here after the steal. He'd go 4 for 4 from the free throw line as Portal advances to the Elite 8, winning 54-50. Statesboro High hosting number 2 Dutchtown, and the Bulldogs showing their size superiority early. Matthew Hinton up for the slam. Statesboro trying to keep it close. Raylan Grant driving in off the mark, but Mike Goodman there for the rebound and putback. Grant then buries the three-pointer. Cam Michael playing tough in the postseason, driving in for 2. And then Michael taking it right at the big guys, and it's successful. And then the fadeaway jumper. Statesboro within 7. But a pair of 6'8 players, including Joe Chappelle here, showing his range. They'd go up by 12. Grant with the 3 before the end of the first half, but Dutchtown leading by 11 at the break. Second half, after injuring his knee, Michael comes back briefly, hits the jumper here, but Chappelle beating the shot clock here for 3 more of his 18 points. Raylan Grant in for the hoop and the foul. And then Mike Goodman going into the basket for the and one. Sharif Muhammad finding success driving in the lane, but the Bulldogs proving to be too much. Hinton with another slam, and then Chappelle has one as well. And Statesboro's season comes to a close, 55-42. The Bulloch Academy Lady Gators on the road in Macon in the GISA quarterfinals against Westfield. First half action, a nice look from Ashante Noble to Emmy Powell for 2. Noble then taking it all the way in herself. She gets the basket and the foul. Bulloch Academy up by 15. Then just before the half, Briley Ray beating the clock for 3. The Gators go up 20 at the half and move on to the Final Four, winning 56-46. Portal Panthers on the road at Warren County in the state Elite 8. We pick things up in the first half. And a nice look inside to Marion Trimble. Later off the miss, Amir Jackson turns and fires. And then it's Elijah Coleman going strong to the basket for 2. Joseph Thomas then steps back and drains a three-pointer. And then Coleman off the mark, but Amir Jackson, the putback dunk. Next, Coleman able to finish. But the home team hot from outside. Jamarian Darden with the three-pointer. Portal hanging on to a 2-point halftime lead. Second half, Joseph Thomas going in with the left hand. The Screaming Devils respond with Raquel Jones for 3. Thomas then the hoop and the foul. Tied at 43. Marion Trimble starts the heat up. First, the friendly roll on the baseline jumper, then off the steal. Trimble in for the layup. Then the pull-up jumper. He'd score 18 of his 22 points in the second half. Here backing down the defender, turning and hitting. Portal threatening to pull away. Trimble once again. He'd scored 10 points in a row for the Panthers. Then off the block shot, Elijah Coleman all the way in. Trimble following his own miss. Portal takes a 10-point lead with 6 minutes left in the fourth. The Devils come all the way back, lead by 1, and then Joseph Thomas, a big 3 to give Portal a 2-point lead. Time winding down in regulation, and a controversial call here. Looks to be off the Devil defender, but no, it's ruled their ball. They can't convert. We go to overtime, tied at 63. The alley-oop to Thomas. Warren County trying to come back, but Coleman rips the ball away. He's off the mark here again, but Trimble there for the putback dunk. And then he gets the steal, gets hammered, no call. Meanwhile, on the other end, a 3 from Jones. Then the putback by Darius Hill. They take a 5-point lead, but make that a 3-point lead as Jackson finds Trimble for 2 more. A huge game for Kosa Pinder. He hits the layup. Coleman answers with the baseline jumper. He'd have 15 points in the game. The Devils up by 2 with just over 20 seconds left. The inbounds stolen by Coleman, who goes in to tie the game at 74 all. Just over 12 seconds left. And this would end up being the final play of the game. Costa scores. Portal falls 76-74.
So with basketball season over, we move outdoors to the baseball diamond where the Bulloch Academy Gators and the Statesboro Blue Devils both in action. Statesboro taking on Benedictine and the Bulloch Academy Gators hosting Jenkins County. Let's send you out for some highlights.
Statesboro High hosting Benedictine at Mill Creek Park. The visitors able to start the scoring on the wild pitch as they'd grab a 1-0 lead. But Aiden Lewis on the mound able to keep it that way with the inning-ending strikeout. The Blue Devils come right back to tie it up on the double steal as Aubrey Smith comes home, and it's 1-all. More to come as Mathis Lanier singles into left, bringing home Nathan Newkirk, and it's 2-1. The Blue Devils keep it rolling as Bruce Yawn singles to left to make it 3-1. Lewis continues his solid play on the mound. He'd end up with 9 strikeouts. A heads-up play moments later as Michael Danello takes third after the error at short, and that would pay off as another double steal scores a run. Statesboro up 4-1,
The Blue Devils playing good defense as well. Check out Aubrey Smith starting the 4-6-3 double play as the Blue Devils go on to win 5-4. The Bulloch Academy Gators hosting Jenkins County. The visitors start the scoring. In the first, the RBI single to right by Jake Bazemore. They'd grab a 2-0 lead. The Gators get that back, though, in their half of the inning. Austin Smith doubles to the fence, and it's 2-all. The Eagles storm right back, though. This one up, and away to center by Tyler Williams. They'd take a 6-2 lead, but again, the Gators come all the way back. First, Smith with the inning-ending strikeout on the mound to shut things down, and then on offense, J.T. Lee drives this one deep enough to left to bring home a hustling Parker Chance. And then T.J. Durden, the RBI single into left. That would tie things up at 6-all as Ike Hubbard scores. More from the Gators, and it's Smith again. The deep drive to center. Cole Newman scores to make it 7-6. The Gators then tack on a few more. The drive to left by Chance, deep enough to bring home the speedy T.J. Durden. And it's 10-7. Smith capping a 4-for-4 day with the double into left field, setting the plate for Ike Hubbard, who drives this one the other way for the RBI single, and BA wins by a final count of 12-8.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.